Mm-hmm. All right, everybody. So this is NFG Podcast Live. I'm here with my boy Dirk. So what's going on today is we have a different type of person coming in, and so we got to touch on this, and we got to touch on it real good because this lady is by far, I can say, the most insane person that I've seen this far in these days because she is taking the rhetoric of a young man that was like slaughtered, taking all of his past and bringing it forward and just displaying him as like some kind of villain. Okay, there's plenty of people in this world that have, you know what I'm saying, made mistakes. Me, probably Dirk, everybody in this world has made mistakes. But what you can't do is take those past mistakes and bring them 15 years prior to this man and say he's a criminal because of what he did in the past. He probably served his time, did what he needed to do, and was trying to change his life. But the female that I'm talking about is Candace Owens. You've probably seen her on Instagram, you've probably seen her on Facebook, and you've probably seen her everywhere getting slandered and tore up because of what she said. Now, her mindset about this is she has a conservative mindset, which tells you that as a black person, she has basically a white person's mind. By going in like she did, she went and displayed this man in such a manner that it made me sick to my stomach. It really did. So I want you guys to take a look at what we're talking about so you can see this. I'm gonna share my screen so y'all can catch a glimpse of Miss Candace Owens at her best. I do believe it's on Facebook. So y'all be so I'm gonna go just show you a brief interlude of what she was saying.
And so much pressure for me to go with the popular opinion about who George Floyd was. And sometimes it can be difficult when there are just so many external pressures to say what you believe. And this was an instance where I felt like my silence would have been better in the beginning. But the more that I think about it, I realize that we are being sold a lot of lies, and at the detriment to the black community, at the detriment to the white community, and at the detriment to America as a whole. So I want to come out and say that I do not support George Floyd and the media depiction of him as a martyr for Black America. I'm going to explain why, and I hope that some of you guys will understand where I'm coming from. I have spent a considerable amount of time reading a lot of Black authors that I think are some of the most brilliant Black Americans breathing. Walter Williams, Shelby Steele, Thomas Sowell, and I recently came across something that was an idea that was planted into my head by Shelby Steele, and it has been something that I cannot forget. It is something that will stick with me for the rest of my life, and it is something that I hope for the Black Americans that are watching will stick with you for the rest of your life. Shelby Steele said that the Black community is unique from other communities. Our culture is unique from other communities because we are the only community that caters to the bottom denominator of our society. Now, let me explain what that means. It means to say that not every Black American is a criminal, not every Black American is committing crimes, but we are unique in that we are the only people that fight and scream and demand support and justice for the people in our community that are up to no good. You would be hard pressed to find, a Jewish person who has spent 5 stints in prison, who commits a crime and dies while committing a crime, and the Jewish people champion and demand justice for. You will be hard pressed to find this in white America.
Oh.
Hard pressed to find this even in Latino America. There is a person that is spent multiple times in prison. You are not going to see a bunch of Latinos coming out demanding justice for this person, even if, and I want to be very clear, what I'm saying is not any defense for Derek Chauvin. I hope Derek Chauvin gets the justice that he deserves to be, implemented upon him, and that the family of George Floyd deserves justice for the way that he died. But I also am not going to accept the narrative that this is the best the Black community has to offer. For whatever reason, it has become fashionable over the last 5 or 6 years for us to turn criminals into heroes overnight. And it is something that I find to be despicable, and it's something that I refuse to stand by any longer. And I am not going to play a part in it, no matter how much pressure comes from Black liberals and Black conservatives, as some token of people wanting you to believe that this is the only way you can be Black, is you have to say this was wrong and that this person was amazing. I won't do that. George Floyd was not an amazing person.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. So that was hard to deal with. So I just like, that's hard to deal with. So basically, her saying that she doesn't want him to be a martyr for our community, that's not even the issue at hand. It's about justice for our community. We're not celebrating him as like a multitude of, oh, well, he was this fighting for Black justice. He was this, that, and the third. What we're fighting about, that he was murdered and slain
in front of the world to see.
Unjustly.
In front of the world to see.
In front of the world. But like, this is what I said about people like her. We need to do something about people like her, because she is so far gone. She is damaging the view of how we should look at things. Like, it's amazing, because if you could look in her comments, you'll see millions of people that are of color telling you, like, calling her a coon, calling her this, that, and the third. Now, I understand the lady. She is quite intelligent when it comes to politics and that, this, that, and the third. She does her thing. But what perplexes me about her is when it comes to Black people, she degrades us. And in the beginning of this, she was trying to uplift us, like, okay, yeah, I don't want to do this, that, and the third, and I want Black people to know that this is not the way and this is the way. But then I'm not going to support a criminal. I'm not going to do all that, and it doesn't make sense, because she's hoping for justice for the cop. What justice does he need other than being in jail? He should be in jail. Like,
see, my thing with it though, Jay. Sorry to cut you off, but
it's okay.
We as people is we can't look at her as speaking to us, because she's not speaking to us or for us. She's speaking to the people she wants to be a part of. She doesn't want to be a part of Black America. She doesn't want to fit in with us. She doesn't want to relate with us. She wants to show the world that she's better than us. And what other race wants to show the world that they're better than us? Simple as that. There's no empathy. She never once said he was murdered. She said the way he died. She never once said he was killed. She said the way he died. So that shows you right there that she's justifying what the officer did because of the color of his skin and previous things that he done. So she said, I haven't seen these, I haven't seen that, I haven't seen these locked up and incarcerated, because they're not the targets. You're missing the whole point. We are targeted more than these other races. They are trying to exterminate this race. This race lives don't matter. So when we have people that have our skin color, and she was infuriating me with the we. You cannot say we if you're not understanding of our compassion and our cries. You can't say we. You have to say them, they, y'all. Don't include yourself in us if you're not going to include yourself in us. That's what I mean.
And that's again. So I look at it like, we as people should, like, I always think about the movie The Mac. Like, it's a scene in The Mac where his brother start getting people that was selling drugs and start scooping them up off the street, and he was doing his own rehabilitation to them people. Now that'll be something like us self-policing. Now I do say there is issues in the black community that we have to
Yes,
get past. We have a lot of issues, but we also have ancestors that have put the plan out to show us the right way. We just neglect them and we don't listen. If we
that's
listen
true.
and we went and done the stuff the right way and we went ahead and just, hey, I'm about to go in, I'm about to listen, I'm about to implement this plan, I'm about to buy some land, I'm about to go out and help my community like we should. I'm gonna pool my money like
We about to. We
exactly.
about to.
So
What frustrates me? Sorry to cut you off again. But what frustrates me though with her is she pointing out so much, so much, so much. So right now you are making us look bad, talking about us bad, and you keep saying the we. But what are you? You're in a position of privilege now. You've made it out. You're not the bottom feeders that you claim that we love to promote. So what are you doing so we don't be looked at as bottom feeders? What are you doing to help the because you kept saying we. What are you actively on the front lines with the people to get your people out of this, or are you just going to sit from a position of looking down like, look, you need to do better? Because my thing is, if all of my black people who are speaking on anything, if you're not on the front lines to help solve these problems, stop speaking on the problems. I'm tired of people speaking on problems without offering solutions. Unless you want the problem. If you like the problem more than getting a solution, you're gonna only talk about the problem.
yeah, it's true. It's true. She does like tend to just focus on the negativity of the black community, and she brings it out to a forefront as if we don't have any positivity. Just like Aubrey Graham, I think she went ahead and said he was a criminal. She did another video saying that he was a criminal, he was a thief, and he was doing all this. It didn't get the type of response that she wanted. Now, be that it may, we as online entrepreneurs, we know the game of what she has. This is a
Mm-hmm.
fan page that she has. I can go back to it and
So,
show.
so, so, I also think about it like this. So, she know what she's doing
She
exactly.
does.
I wonder, is she okay with being what she is right now? Because if you notice, normally it's the white media, the white news stations that come out with the criminalistic accusations to justify the acts of the police.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen any of them because they know that now is not the time to do that. But somebody sure got her to do it, because if we can't do it, we can have the black people do it this time. See if they do it, then it's not just us doing it. I wonder, do she see, or do she even care that she's being manipulated and used and allowed? Or she probably don't care because she don't she with who she want to be with. I'm pretty sure I'm willing to bet my last dollar she probably dated a white man or married to a white
Oh
man.
yes, yes, you already know that her husband is pasty. But anyway, but this is the like I said, her views in politics are troublesome to me when it comes to the black community. Like let's
Mm-hmm.
say in it, if she does get high ranking position like in Congress or
Right.
something, with the way that she thinks she could damage us.
Well, it's good that she showed herself, because if she does move that, then we know, just because we like the tendency, oh, they black, we ride with them, they black.
Yeah,
But now is the time that it's one movement, it's one agenda. It's not black, white, this, that, and this. It's right versus wrong. It's racism versus non-racism.
yeah,
It's oppression versus non-oppressed. It's no nothing. So if you want to keep making it look like that, I'm happy that you do, because now we can see as people. So when it's time for her to get in those offices, we gonna not. You will never get by on us. It's not gonna be like, oh, we gonna
yeah,
let you in because you're black. No, 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 no. We probably damn sure not gonna let you in because we probably vote against you just because you're black and we know how you feel about it.
yeah.
So
Her agenda is her to
it's
me.
not our agenda.
Yeah, it's not our agenda, and I feel like someone's putting her up to this because if you can look at her face, you can look at her face. She looked like she troubled saying some of the stuff that she's saying, and just to be honest, I'm like, ma'am, we don't need this right now.
Mm-mm.
We don't need it. Like you're inciting more hatred. We already trying to fight from hatred. We can go look at all of the stuff that came out in the news about what happened in his case. They said he was counterfeiting, had a counterfeit $20 bill, which came
They
out to
said
be,
that.
and then days later it came out to be not counterfeit. So her justification of him being a criminal was null and void right there. That's
But
one thing. And
but,
then
but my
the tape
go ahead. I'm
also
sorry.
shows like him before they laid him on the ground, they had him in the car
Mm-hmm.
beating him,
Mm-hmm.
beating him. And that's just like, okay, she says a little bit further on in the interview that she said he had narcotics in his system and this, that, and the third, and he had a white baggie. Okay, first and foremost, white America is full of cocaine, full of it. It's full of cocaine. It's the most sold drug in they in their community. So okay, if he was high, he was high, but he wasn't. Was he doing anything to anyone? If I could tell you how many high people walk around in Colorado, Nevada, and California where marijuana is legal.
So my thing is like, okay, even if he did commit a crime, even if he robbed a bank, even if he whatever, that does not give you the right to be judge, jury, and executioner.
Yes,
It
that's
does
true.
not. It does no. You are not the judge, jury, and executioner. If I mean, we have seen in my lifetime another race go in a church and kill people get treated better than a man who was suspected of doing a crime. So
And
let's just stop that. Let's stop that because if I can go commit every crime I want to, that doesn't justify you killing me unlawfully. Because
yes,
he didn't have a weapon towards you. He was surrendering. He wasn't resisting. You were in no harm. You were in no harm. He was not threatening you. You took it upon yourself to let your anger, frustrations, and racism out on that man. If you, as a human being, can't see that, then you will. I don't even have the time to waste my breath talking to you because you will never get it. Like it's some people who will just never get it. They
and
won't. It's like it's sad.
I think like when it comes to the justice system, it just seems like for certain people it's just us, and for us it's not a damn thing. We are still living under slave rhetoric. We
I
still,
mean, until like people we fighting for, like this is what frustrates me about the thing. I want equality, this, that, and this, so we asking for it. Yeah, don't misinterpret my words. But why are we asking them to change the amendment or whatever it is the Constitution saying that we're 2/3 of a human being? Why? Where's the argument for that alone? Just
man.
that one thing alone is still in the Constitution that I am not a human being. So long as the flag that we represent feel that way about me, the people under the flag are going to feel that same way about me. So
Yeah,
don't ask for something that, okay, so they can come out right now and say, okay, we give all black people equality. They can say that, but are they going to change the Constitution? That's what needs to change. We need to change, tear it all down. You want to represent the flag that my people fought for? Let me be able to say that I represent this flag properly. Because I can honestly say that that
mhm.
flag does not mean what it should mean to me.
Yeah, that's true. And I served in the army for years, and
Appreciate you.
then
I appreciate you.
yeah, you're welcome. But when I was in there, I got to realize and see racism at a powerful rate because not only are we almost hated by every other race, but to see how the white race treats other races when we go, like we just, let's say we were deployed, we went to Afghanistan. They calling these Saudi Arabians, these Arabs, Dune Coons, sand niggas. That's what they referring to them. And I'm looking at these people. I'm like, you saying nigga right in front of me, and like I'm not finna slap the taste out of your mouth. Even though I'm like, okay, I like you do realize that you're only the majority in America, and the rest of the world, you're the minority. You're dying off at a rapid rate. So you're trying to kill us over here so you can try to survive in this land of holy hell that you have created. And it bothers me to the core to see them because like I have to deal with systemic racism like at every job I ever had. Every boss I had always turned out to be racist. If they was white, they always turned out to be racist. And I hate to say that, and I'm not trying to bash anybody. I'm not trying to be that way, but I never had a good experience with them. Like, but when I remember I had one manager when I was working at the state parks in New Orleans. His name was Tommy Davidson. He was the only black manager that I had that treated me with respect. He didn't talk to me like I was a child. Now, being that I was 28 and I had an assistant manager position at a park, it was a level 5 park providing over $200,000 for every park in the state of Louisiana. When I came there, I took that 200,000 and almost tripled it. Almost tripled it in one summer. So I did that, but I had to deal with a lady just like Candace Owens, which she put me through so much that I lost my job out there because she accused me of of child molestation when my
What?
wife was pregnant with my child. Yes, yes, she said that I had took the girls out to the back and had slept with all of them. No proof or nothing. And then I was like,
See,
that's what I'm saying. In those type of people, so I see people like that. I've seen a person like that. I'm like, you did this to me unjustly.
that could have ruined your life, bro.
Could have put me in jail. But in the
Right.
state parks system, I was like, you saying this, and then, but thank God that all the girls was like, no, she lying. He just took us around the park because they were cashiers at my at the concession stand, and I wanted them to know the dangerous areas at the park because it
Right.
was hogs, it was alligators, it was murders. I'm in New Orleans. We were next door to a level 5 women's prison where a lady escaped, got out, killed 3 guards, came to the park. We had the FBI, the CIA there, and they still didn't catch her. She ended up in your town in Cali 3 days later. That's where they caught her. So she murdered. She was on a murdering spree. Got there, got on the park, got all that. But if I wouldn't have told them girls that, hey, this is where you need to go. This is where you don't need to go. This is where you need to stay at. This is what time you need to get out of here and stay off this park because we got wild boars that can kill you on this park. But
So you was coming from a place of I'm just trying to educate so
yes,
these women can know what to expect. So like, see, that's perfect. You were just trying to inform. Like me, I'm transitioning with a lot of things in my life right now. So it's a
mm-hmm.
lot of it's a lot of things that I'm learning that I didn't know, and it's a lot of things I'm starting to learn that a lot of people don't want to learn new stuff. So a
Yes,
lot of people are stuck in their ways. Like it's a book I read, Who Moved My Cheese. It's a great read. I recommend everybody go read that book. And now in these times, Who Moved My Cheese? But I'm saying like it's a lot of people who are so stuck in their ways, stuck in their mentality, and they don't realize that how detriment because everything in their life has been okay. Like so they don't have any. So they don't they don't rationalize with anything other than what's going on in their life. So when their life is not affected by anything else, they don't they don't have empathy or compassion or understanding of anything else because they only know the life that they live. Totally fine. But if that's the case, don't speak on it.
yep,
Be in a position to be like, I don't know anything about that. That is not my area. I have been privileged enough to never have to be pulled over. Admit that. Don't say, oh well, this person is this and this person is that. You haven't lived in my shoes. You haven't even been in my neighborhood. You haven't stayed here for weeks. So don't try to talk about my demographic. And it's so sad because like perfect example, lead way into Drew Brees. Perfect example. So Drew Drew is like, man, I like Drew. He always been but in his
Man,
eyes, what he said, like, I love my country. And don't get me wrong, you are entitled to that. But the same country that you love, this, and you were talking, Drew said, I will never have respect for anybody disrespecting the flag. Now, like
yes.
talking about Kaepernick. So Drew Brees, the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, was interviewed a couple of days ago, and they asked him about potential kneeling in the upcoming season. He said after the events of, actually we all seen why Kaepernick, the quarterback from the Saints, was kneeling. We all
Mhm.
seen it now firsthand. He still had the audacity to say, I will never respect anybody disrespecting the flag. Kaepernick's kneel was never about the flag. But I'm just taking it even deeper. So Drew Brees, in his mind, his country, the flag. Okay, he talking about his grandfathers went to fight in that war for what they represent. So when any white person, to me, says that they don't want to disrespect the flag, they are thinking about the times with their grandparents and parents owned people,
Mhm.
and that was great for them. So that's that's their flag.
Yeah,
So
that's just
when
like
when
when
when we're disrespecting the flag, we're disrespecting the flag that they see. So, but the
yes.
flag that black people see the flag of oppression. Black people see the flag as slaves. Black people see the things like we went to that same war that you were talking about your grandfather went in. We probably was on the front line. We probably the ones that was dying first. When your grandfather came back from that war, he was celebrated. He came back to cheerleaders and everything.
Hmm.
When a black man came back from that war, he probably was still somebody's slave.
Terrorized.
Straight up. Straight
So
up. And it's still happening to this day. So for people that just don't get it, your flag is not my flag. But what your grandfathers and everybody fought for was for me to be able to express my displeasures against that flag. And
yeah,
me expressing my displeasures should not cause me to lose jobs, should not cause me to, but it's just funny how it's done like that. But the playing field is starting to even because we got the lady in the park who called Wolf.
Karen.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
called Wolf and her whole life. So now it's now you're starting to see that you just can't. So I mean, it's some people just they just been trained and only know
it's
one way for so long.
it's.
They
I
feel like they can
feel
say whatever they want.
and just like touching on Drew Brees, man. Like to being living in New Orleans, and I was there when the Super Bowl and all that was going on. That was the same time that I was working at the park. All that was a massive like insanity. But to for him to say things like that, I'm like, okay, just when they think about the flag, the first flag they think about is the Confederate flag, which is
Mm-hmm.
a flag of oppression and slavery. But they always say it's our heritage, it's our history. Well, your history is wanting to keep black people enslaved. It's a war between white people that y'all lost. So you lost. So to celebrate that flag is treason. It's treason. And that's what kills me about America sometimes. You're allowing them to celebrate treason of a Confederate flag, a flag that you know represents slavery. This is one thing that they do teach us in Louisiana that they don't teach everywhere else. They'll teach you about the horror that went on within slavery. So not only in slavery did we get fed, our babies got fed to alligators. You can go look that up. Alligator
That's
baby.
true.
They got
Yeah.
fed alligators. The women,
Gator bait.
yeah, it's gator bait. The women and men were tarred and feathered, burned at the stake, then torn apart. If you ever look on the back of the Levi's jeans, you're gonna see two jeans being torn apart. It used to be a black man in between those jeans, and they took it
Oh
off.
man, I boy didn't know that.
Yes.
So and it's funny you said that they make sure they teach you that.
Oh, they
Do
taught
they
us.
make
They taught
do
us
they
that.
make sure that they teach all about Mansa Musa too? Do they make sure that they teach
No,
all about
they don't
Cleopatra?
teach
Do they
you.
make
They
sure that they
don't
teach
teach
all
you
about King Tut?
anything.
Do they make sure that you feel what I'm saying? They make sure they make sure you know that you was a slave and you was oppressed. They
They
make
want
sure
to
you
keep
know that.
instill fear in you. But like my thing is, at a young age, everybody always told me that you militant, that you rebel. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't understand it. I'm supposed to let you talk to me any type of way. I ain't gonna do it. So
You
I stayed getting kicked out of school for man, bruh. I used to go to bat with my teachers. Like I remember a teacher told me to write an essay. I never forget this. I was in my junior year. Miss Crane was her name. So she told me to write an essay about a book that we had read. Now she gave me a thesaurus, she gave me a dictionary, she gave me all the credible information that I needed to write and put on this essay. I wrote the essay. My sister was there, my mother was there, watched me handwrite the essay. I turned it in to her. She read the essay. The next day came to me, said, "You're not smart enough to write an essay this way." I called and I told my mother that, and my mother came up there. God bless her soul. May she rest in peace. But she came up there and began speaking to the woman like, "You're an idiot, and you think you're gonna talk to my son any type of way." But in my mind, that was my breaking point of me taking crap from that lady. So afterwards, like I worked at Pizza Hut, and then she came there, and I put a whole bunch of peanut oil in her pizza and gave it to her. The
if
petty
you watching
spirit
this,
was
yeah,
like,
I did it. If you watching, yeah, I did
yeah,
it.
she ain't alive. She ain't alive. No, she was like 80 something when she was teaching. So she
Oh yeah.
all long and gone. But
Oh yeah.
that's what I'm saying. The racism was just handed down. The place that I come from is Winfield, Louisiana. It's still segregated to this day. We have a black senior prom and a white senior prom. We have a black folks quarters. We have a white folks quarters. It's
They
still
might be on to something.
still segregated to this day. And it's better that way because in that town, we don't have no problems. We don't have no problems with them because they stay on their side and we stay on our side. That's it. But the separation, I do believe, is the key. But because at this point, we're dealing with Candace Owens, dealing with Drew Brees. Drew Brees come out saying something like that. I'm like, Drew, like you can't say stuff like that. One, you know that Colin Kaepernick was kneeling for injustice, not for the flag. Injustice, the same thing that these protesters are out there protesting against right now. All we want is fair chance in this corrupt nation, which the laws have been skewed and put against us, so we always lose. Just like they had a form of lynching in the court system. So when we were freed as slaves, so they would say we raped or killed a white woman and then would go send us to the electric chair as another form of lynching. I tell people this all the time. When they went and lynched people, it was like a parade.
Yeah. They sent postcards. But it was a
Postcard,
party. It was a
postcards,
party.
picnic, a
Like
picnic, oh, pick a nigga.
multiple Africans hanging from a tree, not just one,
Yes.
multiple, and they in bruh, it's in a blood, it's in a culture. So, I mean, we
And
are
I
a
don't,
peaceful people.
and I'm sorry for cutting
We're a
you off.
peaceful
And I
people.
don't want to say I want to be like this towards white people because I have good friends that are white,
Me too. Me, plenty
but
of them.
I hate their whiteness. I
But
can't
but my but
because
my thing is this. My thing is this. Like, if I do have white friends,
mhm,
so I seen a video yesterday that's circulating, going viral, of the young white girl talking to her parents. It's a young white
yeah,
girl. I can't think. She's talking to her parents, educating them about, but her parents are so, like,
gone.
so gone that they're not even trying to hear what she's trying to say. So I bless that young lady's heart. I send her my love and thank you for your support. Thank you for your trying to educate your parents. But how many kids don't have that allow their parents to instill that in them? So that's why it keeps going on, and it's gonna
Mm,
keep going on. It's not. It's taught. It's like it's not. You're not born with it. You're it's bred in you. Like, if
it
that
is
makes any
bred in
sense.
you.
So.
and one of my friends just now sent me. I'm gonna have to go share the screen again. He just sent me something in my messenger, so I'm finna go to here and I'm finna show y'all what he sent me, and this is what I'm talking about. Like just sent me this, so let me get off of Miss Owens.
Yeah, I don't want to see her no more.
Yeah, she a done deal. So, but this is what I'm talking about. My friend just sent me this link. Look at this. Now this,
Blow it
what
up
I'm
for us,
gonna
Jay.
show you. Hmm?
I
What you
said,
say
blow it
now?
up for us. Blow it up
Okay.
for us. It's still small.
This
Yeah.
just happened. This just happened 3 hours ago in South Carolina.
So why, who is that person and why they just sitting there watching?
Oh
That's I'm
no, I
tired of
think
that.
I think that I'm not sure who this lady is, but I think she trying to stop him.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
this just happened 3 hours ago.
But see, the narrative is gonna be what happened before that. We need to see the whole video. This, that, and this. Like, wow, really, really?
Yeah, let's just take it in. Let's look at this video. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. He just said this was 3 hours ago. Look at this. This is what I'm saying. Now look, you see the life going out.
Oh wow.
So this is what we got to deal with.
No, but Jason, it's his fault. Jason, it's his fault, man. He was on drugs and he a criminal and like he just been a horrible person his whole life. Jason, come on, man. But like all these people driving by and nah, man, get in there because it's over for that for me.
And look, I can't watch no more.
I don't like seeing it no more either, but because it's trauma porn, man, and it's to the point now to where the media wants us to keep seeing that and keep seeing that and keep seeing that. So they
That's
want
what,
people to get they want people to get desensitized to it. They want it to get like, okay, let's show it, show it, show it, show it, show it. So then like when we show it when it happens, then people be like,
yeah, it's disgusting, man.
it's
It's
horrible.
disgusting. Like at the end of the day, like we still, even if you think we not human beings, we towards each other think we human beings. And I really think this point comes across. We gotta stop as black people killing each other because we
Yep,
need to preserve our lives.
yep.
Number one, over there, we need to come up with a plan to work with each other, even closer
So
than what
you
we
see
work.
how I'm just thinking right now because you put that in my mind, like, and I'm just thinking I gotta say this so people can understand. Do you see how those officers were? That was a street fight.
Yes,
That was a street fight. That was no officer training tactics. That was a street fight. So anybody who's watching this, Dirt the Dream Saver on Instagram, Antoine Dion Johnson on Facebook, Dion Johnson on Facebook, Growing with Dirt on Facebook. You send me pictures of white people getting treated like that by the police. Send me videos of white people getting treated like that by the police. I will gladly look at it. Send that to me, and I probably won't. Do they exist?
that's my biggest thing. Like, what is the problem? What is really going on with them? So they this warped in their head.
I mean, it's at this point, like I'm past trying to because we need to just stop pretending that we don't see what we see. We need
Yeah.
to stop. We need to stop. Like, it's right in front of your face. So look at what's right in front of your face, and don't expect anything other than that. What
Yes.
have they been? What have they been doing for the last forever since we've been here? Why are you expecting anything other than that? Why are you asking for anything other than that? That's just what they're going to do. Dogs eat food.
Yeah. That's true.
Lions hunt. Hyenas hunt.
And
You
it's
don't see how you don't see hyenas eating blueberry bushes and is. I mean, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but your nature is your nature. Darlene Billups sent me 16 photos. Hopefully, that's photos and videos of white people getting killed and beat up by the police.
so
Because
it's
if it is, I'm going to gladly share it. Because we sure share enough of us getting beat up, and we sure love to share us getting beat up and killed by the police. So let's just show the total police brutality. Because if it's not just us, it really is a police brutality problem, then, right?
yeah, that and
So so
exactly what
so
I'm
so
saying.
white people, if they're doing that to your people too, where are you at?
Let me see it.
No, I don't need to see it. If it's there, and it's happening to your people too, as you claim that this, if more than it's happening to black people, because a lot of white people say, well, there was this, that, and this. If you look at the statistics and the numbers, okay, if it's happening to your people just as much, and as often as it's happening to mine, why have we all been tolerating it for so long?
There you go. And that's what I feel like. I feel like what is the point of you having a toleration for us? Like we're doing something to you. Like I had a lady on. I posted this in my group, and she was like, "Well, if you just shut up and listen," and I was like, "Shut up and listen." I'm like, first of all, ma'am, I don't know where you get off speaking to me like that, and second of all, this is my page, not yours. I can put what I want. That was my views because I'm like the audacity of them to like come at you with just like they feel like they can't be touched and they should vividly understand. I tell people this all the time. They always talk about a race war, a race war, a race war. I'm like, okay, one, if we go to a race war, there's no possible way that they're gonna win. And the reason why, because you can see right now that half of them are divided, the other half are old. So that 40 million people, that 40 million or 37 plus million black people in the United States, we got Hispanics, which sometimes I don't feel like they care for us that much, but I do believe out of racism they'll join with us. We got Asians, which I'm quite sure they gonna join with us as well because they catching hell now too. So everybody that's of a color was gonna be against them. And I'm like, you think
But and don't just say everybody of color, because it's going to be white people against
white
them
people
too.
as well? And then this is the biggest thing. I was like, you have set up a literal army. You have set up a literal army in a prison. The first thing people would do when a race riot is going to ensue is they're going to go to a prison and they're going to break out all the prisoners. And there's your army right there. Because you in-house people without rehabilitation. And this is
I'm
what I say. It's ridiculous for them to say stuff like they said and put it on us like we all like what like how are we always the guilty parties? How are we always the bad people? Like I'm saying this right now, and I guarantee some white person is gonna take offense to it, but they really don't understand why they taking offense to it.
you know the funniest part of it all is that I think we finally get it. If we asking for something that we can give ourselves.
Exactly.
I think we're finally starting to get it. Like the reason, like I dropped a video the other day, and it was like there's two teams every
Mm,
time competing for a championship. They don't just give one team a championship. There's always two teams in the final for a championship. And whoever wins gets the championship and the trophy.
Yeah.
No team ever just says, you know what, I don't even feel like playing in no game. They may show up and not play well, but they never not show up. They never just bow down and quit before the game is even played. So I'm saying that to say they're not going to give us anything. So we need to stop asking for them to give us something.
Yes,
We
we
need
need
to
to stop.
stand up, rise up, and figure out what our plan and what our strategic plan is to go take it.
Yeah.
Because like my thing is, once we earn it, like if you give it to me, like just like anybody in life, if you give somebody something in life, they're not gonna appreciate it. They're gonna treat it like you gave it to them. But if they pay for it, if they earn it, if they have to work for it, that appreciation level is gonna always be there, and it's gonna mean that much more to them because they had to sacrifice something to give up something to get it. So when we willing to sacrifice and we willing to give up and we willing to do what it takes to get it, we will have it. But as long as we keep asking for it to be handed to us, we'll never get it.
That's true, man. That is absolutely true. Like I tell people all the time, if we get reparations, like I'll say
I don't want it.
they could
I
have
don't
gave
want
it
it.
to us. They
I
could have
don't
gave
want
it
it.
to us.
I
I
will
know.
take it. I will take it, but as far as my people, I don't want it because that's only at the way our minds are right now, the way we're going to give it back to them tenfold.
Yes, give it back to him because we have such
As
a consumer mindset instead of having like, okay, let me go buy 200-300 acres. Let me go buy some land in Africa. Let me see if I can get a business started that's going to be a multi-million-dollar business. Let me
so
put $1 million life insurance on my flesh. So if they kill me, the insurance company's got to pay $10 million, which they ain't gonna want to pay.
I'm that saying that to think about like now the best time to give it to us was a few years ago. But
Mm-hmm.
now after all of this, like it's I know like look at us together. Like look at us right now. And it's just the universe is bringing us together.
Yeah,
The universe is waking us up, and it takes a George Floyd, it takes a movement of that magnitude to get the masses to wake up. So my thing is, let's not go back to sleep. Let's understand that.
yeah,
Okay, let's take this momentum now. Let's use this. Okay, even if we get justice, even if they lock them up or whatever, let's use this to okay now what's the next move? And I'm seeing a lot of people talking about economics. Okay, let's make sure that I know I'm telling my family and everybody in my family before you spend $1, look and see if that service or product is offered by a black owned business.
mm-hmm.
Simple as that. And get in the habit of doing that.
And
And if
another
every
thing, go ahead.
and if we do that as people, support our own, like, but some we have to get out of our jealousy because so many of us be like,
Yes,
I'm not finna support him. I'm not finna help him win. Woo, 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 woo. So
yeah.
nah, man, like learn from each other. Let's grow with each other. So
I think
that's it.
just like you were saying, a big system that we used to have, like especially being from the country, like I'm a country boy, we have like a barter system. We need to bring that back because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
my dad had like, because I grew up on a farm, we had potatoes, collard greens, mustard green, all type of stuff. So when we harvest the crop, if somebody that we knew had something that we needed, my dad was like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you a bundle of collard greens, a bundle of cabbages. You'll give me this," and they did it that way. So a
That's
transfer of goods,
currency.
yes, just like the food was currency instead of using actual currency until we build up in a nation. Like I always was fascinated by the movie. Uh, what's that movie name? Good Lord, Wesley Snipes is in the movie when
Yeah, a lot of
when he played a gangster, Nino Brown,
them. New Jack City.
New Jack City. I was always fascinated by that movie because of the Starship Enterprise. What he did was a grand design. You take away the drugs and you keep the same structure. On the first floor, you got a school. On the second floor, you got a gym. On the third floor, you got a business. On the fourth floor, you got a grocery store. and then that whole building is an economic circle of money. So even at a young age, I was like, if he would have flipped that to do that, just imagine having 10 buildings like that, where black people wouldn't even have to go outside to get educated, so they can always be protected. And then when they ready to go out and go into the world, since they've been in that system of circulating their money, they got over $100,000 in a self-owned bank that they can go purchase a house or purchase some land and have that land built up, ground up by a black architect that's going to charge them cheaper, so they keep more
Let's
money.
do it, King. Let's do it, King.
Hey man, hey, that's one of my biggest things with trying to get my stuff on social media and get myself, because I want to build a Starship Enterprise, and
We gonna do it, King. We gonna do it. 2020, we just put it out there in the universe, manifesting it. Jason King and Dirt the Dream Saver is gonna build that enterprise. We gonna build it, and not only one, not only two, we gonna build few, 4, 5, 6. Because once you learn how to do something one time,
you recreate
you
it,
can
man.
do it over and over and over and over.
It'll change the world.
We gonna change the world. Like I know that in my heart. I know that in my heart. Like I know that in my heart. I've been through so much, and God is good. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Well, man, this was a great podcast. This is the NFG podcast. If everybody seen, I can't say what it means, but y'all already know what it means. You know, hey, I want to say PG-13. You can follow me on Instagram at jasonking.biz. Go follow Dirt on Instagram. If you want to support us, cash out. You see them up there. So I want to thank everybody that tunes in, and peace and love. We out.